Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got Marc Krasney on with the Krasney Law Firm, and that's to learn more about them. It's Krasney, Krasney, lawfirm.com. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of buy-sell agreements, and there's a whole lot of buying, a whole lot of selling, a whole lot of business creating going on, and it needs to be done in such a way that's in the best interest of every party involved. Marc, as always, glad to have you on the program. Before we talk about buy-sell agreements, tell us a little bit about the Krasney Law Firm.
Hey, Kevin, sure enough. What we did about 8 years ago is start a firm that is on a flat fee system, which means we become your in-house counsel for a flat fee. You don't pay us a salary like you would if you had a general counsel in your office. You just farm all that out to my law firm, pay us a flat fee per month, and you get access to us. You get to call us. We get to review contracts. There's a conversation. And the nice thing is we're there when you need us, and you don't have to worry about surprise legal bills. We started that about 8 years ago. It's been very successful. Clients like it, and, 99% of them stay with us.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, and that, to me, makes perfect sense. And also prevention is always better than a pound of cure, and you can see where that would be attractive as a business model.
Oh, yeah, and, really, our law firm went from probably 80% litigation to 90% transactions and consulting. And to me, that just suggests the clients want to prevent, like you said, lawsuits and problems because they get us involved on the front end. We get to consult and discuss the strategies, the issues, the ramifications, and hopefully avoid lawsuits because, as you know, those are all reactionary and incredibly expensive.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's talk about buy-sell agreements because there's a whole lot of buying and selling going on.
Yeah, that's the thing. You ask me a lot of times, what's the economy like, what's going on, and I think the barometer is what are my clients doing? And right now, a lot of them are buying companies or selling off assets. And so what I like to look at and what I hope most of my clients have in place even before getting us involved are buy-sell agreements, which simply say, hey, I have this company here, and we've locked up the shares of the company with a buy-sell agreement, and it specifically says in this agreement or in the bylaws, here's what happens in the event you want to buy or sell shares. So, for example, if you're an employee and you choose not to be with the company anymore, buy-sell agreement gets triggered. If you're married, you have a spouse, you get divorced, buy-sell agreement gets triggered, so that those shareholders or members only deal with each other, or at least have the option to only deal with each other before going out to a third party or outside market. Because most of my clients were mom and pop shops or friends from college or something, say like you and I went into business together, well, I only want to deal with you. But if you want to get out, this buy-sell agreement explains how that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. How often are these done in a very poor manner? And I'm going to assume the weaker the agreement and the less structured the agreement, the more likely you're going to have legal dispute, which is really expensive. How often do you have that kind of problem?
Well, that's a good way to put it. And I think the easiest way would be what I see most of the time are clients who don't have lawyers involved from day one, and they do an online search, and they find some agreement out there that might say buy-sell agreement, and they think, oh, this is what I need. Sign it, put it in the book, and never think about it until it's actually needed. And then when it's needed, somebody objects, and then lawyers get involved. And that's when I enter the picture, and I'll review something, and I say, where'd this come from? And 9 times out of 10, a client will say, oh, we found that with some legal Zoom or something online or a friend had it. And oftentimes, those agreements don't really apply because those agreements are governed by the state law. So if you found a buy-sell agreement online that was written for a company in New York, well, it might not specifically apply to Texas. Or there's certain things in there that don't apply at all and are completely irrelevant in Texas. And that's when most of the time clients have problems because we got to fix that.
Yeah, and rather quickly. And so the best way to do that goes back to what we said at the very beginning, an ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure.
Yeah, and what we do, say you want to start a business, you and I go into business together, we'll start the company, whether it's a corporation or an LLC or whatever, in either the operating agreement if it's an LLC or the bylaws if it's a corporation, we put in there terms that deal with those events when somebody wants to buy or somebody wants to sell their shares or units of the company. It's all in there from day one. So before anybody makes a bunch of money in the company, it's discussed and decided how we're going to handle this event. So down the road, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, you want to sell because, you want to cash out. We already have an agreement in place that decides how this can happen. And it's a so much easier proposition to do it that way as opposed to the wrong way.
Yeah, no question about it. No question about it. Final thoughts on the importance of this topic and how to go forward.
Well, I really think you need to get, and I've said this before in your show, a good lawyer involved and a good CPA involved in your company from day one. Really discuss the strategies and make sure all the documents are in place to keep you in a good legal frame of mind, as well as a financial state, because most of the clients are good at building the widget or running the service. Everything else they need to leave to the experts.
Yeah, very good stuff. Marc Krasney is with the Krasney Law Firm. Krasney, Krasney, lawfirm.com, correct?
That's it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
make
Kevin.
sure you check it out. Good stuff. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.